All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here with me today. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining for Coffee with Joe. I hope you grabbed your coffee. I got my I love my dog mug. He's here right next to me, so let's hope he's not too loud. All right. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about 5 ways to be a better partner. The reason why I wanted to talk about this was just because, it's something that I feel I've been thinking a lot about lately, especially this year. How can I show up and be a better partner? And one of the ways that helped me figure out how to be a better partner was to really just look at my own personal experience that I have in relationships. So just as, some qualifications, right now I'm in a relationship that I've been in for just about 6 years. Prior to that, I was in another relationship that lasted just about 2 years, and before that, maybe in another relationship at about 2 to 3 years in length. 6 years ago, I had gotten out of a relationship for me that was not the best relationship. For me, as I look back at it now and I reflect, wasn't one that I was happy in. I wasn't one that I felt like I was able to be my best self. I wasn't able to grow. I wasn't able to do the things that I loved, and I felt like I had this, controlling life about me, so that helped me, see what I really want to find in a relationship. What defines a good relationship for me. What do I want in a partner that's going to help me be better? And how do I want to show up for my loved one? Right. So these are things that I've been really thinking about now, and through my experience, have really helped me be the best I can be today. Now, of course, I'm not saying I'm the best person today, but I am saying that I am striving to be the best person. I'm trying to find out ways to be a better person and then apply those things to my life. And, and how can I not only apply those things in my life and have better relationship, but also help others have better relationships, by being a role model for my family members, by being a role model for my friends, by being a role model for my team, so they can see, like, how is Joe being a good partner? Why is his relationship seems so good? Why is he so happy? How is he so bright? And you can see this in a lot of other people too. When they have happy relationships, they're always smiling more. They're always talking about, good things and growth. They're supportive of each other in many ways. So what we'll talk about today is we'll talk about 5 tips to be a better partner. And then I want to kind of ask you guys, like, what are you doing to be a better partner in a relationship? What does, a happy and intimate relationship look like to you? And, if you're not in one, what will you be looking for in a partner? So to start off, the first thing I want to talk about is one way to be a better partner is by expressing your love or gratitude at least once a day. Making it a habit um, to love your partner, as opposed to it being just some subconscious thing like, oh, I love them, and I always love them. They know I love them. I don't have to tell them I love them. No, I think you should tell them you love them. At least once a day, make an effort to, um, you know, send a flirty text message, have a face-to-face, 30-second look you dead in the eye, and I want to tell you right now that I love you and I'm grateful for you and everything that you do. Sometimes when I talk to Monica, I'm like, hey, thank you so much for walking the dog 3 times yesterday. I was at work the whole day, and if it wasn't for you, like, he wouldn't be happy and getting his exercise and getting activity if it wasn't for you walking my dog, and showing that genuine gratitude. And one more way you could do it, and depending on the phone you have, and a lot of newer phones, especially iPhones, they have a little voice message that you can send. So it takes your text message, a little bit more elevated, because now you can hear that person, as opposed to sending that message that says, I love you, have a good day. Take that voice message and say, hey, how's it going? I hope you have a great day. I know you're at work right now, so when you listen to this, I want you to know I love you. And those are 3 ways that you can, um, you know, show your love, express your gratitude at least once a day. So I make it a point to add that to my list of things to do. I try not to make it robotic, not like a, hey, stop everything you're doing. I need to tell you something right now and interrupt you. Make it's genuine. Let Let your heart tell you when the right moment is. I don't set it for a time at 10:30 a.m. Tell her I love her, but I do know at least once a day, uh, expressing that gratitude, showing that love to that person, is really, really helped to improve your relationship with your partner. Now, if this can be applied in many areas as well. We're talking about, your siblings, your parents, your friends. I don't think we say that enough to our friends. I've recently gotten opened up to being able to just tell a friend like, hey, I love you. You've been a great friend to me. And to me that's a little, I've always felt weird to say those things, but I think letting that go, shedding that, whatever it is that's blocking me from being able to show that love for these people, for my loved ones, wholeheartedly. So that's one way to be a better partner. Express your love and gratitude at least once a day. Number two, how to be a better partner is to cheer your partner on. Be a cheerleader for your partner. Um, kind of like, imagine being on the sideline for your marathon runner friend. When your runner friend is hitting that halfway mark at 13.1 miles and you're there, and you got a sign and you're saying like, go Caesar, you're at the halfway mark. How you doing, Caesar? Good to see you. Welcome back. Like that feels good, right? When you have a friend that's just like, wow, they're making some noise. Maybe someone's there to cheer you on. And then, even better is like once that friend's made it past that halfway mark, you're running over to the end, to the 26-mile marker. You want to be there waiting for them right at the end. Why, if we think about it, like, why is that so, why does that feel so good? For that marathon runner to be there at the end of the line and see their loved one, I don't, haven't quite experienced it myself personally, but I've seen it. You can see it in videos, like people, it's a really blessed moment. It's a wonderful moment full of love. And, Caesar, I'm sure you can share that with us, how good that feels to be at the end and to see your loved one there. Now apply that in your relationship. Maybe it's not a marathon. Maybe it's a new business venture. Maybe your loved one is trying to get healthier. Maybe your loved one is trying to read more, watch less TV. If that's their goal, you should cheer them on. If one person is trying to watch less TV and you're just all the time watching TV and not caring about their goals and giving it any attention, do you really think that that's gonna improve your relationship? Will that make things good? Do you think you'll be happier by responding to your partner's goals in that way? Not likely. So imagine the opposite. Imagine you're a loved one and you're going to a marathon for your loved one, and you're at the halfway marker, and your loved one is running past you, and you're on the phone, right? Maybe you picked up a phone call, or maybe a text message posted up, or no joke, maybe a squirrel like just is on the side and you're just completely distracted. you know he's not, they're running, they're going because they're on their goal, and they just saw that you were completely distracted, you were uninterested, and you were just not present, right? And then again at the end of the line, like you're at the marathon line, and yeah, you got a water bottle, you got balloons, but you're just chilling, right? Imagine what that feels like for the person who just finished their marathon, just finished their goal, to see that their loved one is not present in that moment, to share that with them. So that's, one way to, improve your relationship is to be, you know, a cheerleader for your loved one. Cheer them on. If they're, on a goal, they're on a path, support them. Find out ways to just to be there and say like, you're doing good. And of course, you know, words of encouragement for when you truly believe that maybe they could be doing a little better. But by being active, by being present, by being able to see that, you're genuinely connected with your loved one. And I'm certain that by doing so, it's much better than the opposite, which is much less desirable. So the third way to improve your relationship is to to practice better listening skills. Now the key word there was practice better listening skills. The tip wasn't to be a better listener, right? People always say like you should be a better listener. Um, okay, guy, how do I be a better listener? Okay, well, XYZ. Well, once you do these things, you have to do them regularly. You have to practice them daily. You have to do them and practice them in all your affairs. So here are some ways to be a better listener when you're with your partner, with your loved one, is to one, get rid of distractions. So, one thing that I remember from, just being in business meetings with one of these restaurant consultants, when someone was talking to him, he immediately would close his computer. It was in front of him. And when someone addressed him, he put down his computer and he looked intently. And that was one small tidbit of somebody's habit that I took away. And I was like, hey, how can I do that in all my life? So one way to do is get rid of any distractions. When someone's like, hey, Darren, I want to share with you my day. Darren was ideally is gonna, look at his loved one and say, you know what, I'm gonna silence my phone real quick, or I might put my phone away, or maybe I'll mute the TV, and these are ways that you can just be a better listener, practice better listening skills, right? That's a practice. That's something that you maybe not do, you're not perfect all the time, but you can practice it. Another thing you could do is just maintain eye contact. Yeah, obviously, if you're looking into somebody's eyes, uh, there's that real connection. As I try to look into this, computer now, I want you to feel that connection for as much as we can, even though we're separate. But that eye contact can really make a difference. If your loved one's talking to you and you're over here, because there's a squirrel, like you're not here with the person in front of you. When they say like look into your soul, there's something about looking at making eye contact with people. Finally, a good way to practice better listening is to always ask questions. Whether it's confirming what you heard, what I'm hearing is this, or let me get this right, I think you said this, or maybe just asking questions to to engage them more. Let your loved one talk about what it is they're talking about, and actively listen, practice listening skills by asking questions, for them. Whatever it is that they're talking about, engage in that conversation, as opposed to, of course, nodding and looking intently. But, if you're not engaged in the conversation, then it's just a one way, and you're just, taking the message. So one way to improve your relationship is practice good listening skills. Again, practice. Number 4, and as we come to the near end of this, so ask yourself, what does a happy and intimate relationship look like to you? And then improve on those areas. So, are you guys like a team together, in your relationship? Are you a team? Do you guys, kind of work together? Are you independent? Does one person go this way and one person this way, and you guys are independent and you guys try to work like that? How often, in your relationship, how often do you want to go out? Do you want to be able to go out, daily, weekly, monthly? What does that part of your relationship look like? How many times do you want to be away from family and then you guys are just together, a year? How many times do you want to go out on vacation, right? Brendan Burchard recommends every 3 months, to kind of get away. And, you have to define what that is for you, and, be on the same page and, work towards that. Another thing, maybe people don't talk about is like your sex life. What does that look like to you? Your intimate relationship. What does that really look like to you? Are you living into it? Are you aware of what your other partner wants in that area? When you guys are on the same page and you guys are defining that relationship together, and you're adding clarity to that, you can improve your relationship because you're on the same page, you're on the same tracks, and you're going the same path. That's why it is your partners. So define that, and then ask yourself, how can you improve that part of your relationship? And finally, before we open it up for discussion, the 5th way to be a better partner is kind of, it's very big. It's important. I did a little bit of research. I found an article about change in a relationship. So, if your partner is seeking change in a relationship, you should be supportive and you should be cooperative. As I had mentioned, you want to not only be their cheerleader, but you also want to be cooperative. So it's not just the change in a relationship can't just be about you targeting your partner, right? It also has to be about you cooperating with your partner's desire to change. Now, to give a personal example, I have been in sobriety now for just under 6 months. I hit my 6 months this Friday, which is a pretty big milestone. And, having aligned with Monica on that was very important to me. Yes, yes, thank God. I'm really excited. It's going to be on Friday. Yeah, sober on a Friday. That's okay. So, I had to tell Monica this. I had to make sure that she aligned with me on this. And she did have to cooperate. I mean, I didn't like force her to cooperate. But as I'm seeing it all unwind, it was really important that she did. If I had told her that I was trying to, get better, be sober, rid myself of alcohol and all these problems and all these issues, and she had to be cooperative and supportive of me, and she did that. But if she did the other, if she just did the other, if she was just constantly like, Joe, you seriously got to get your drunk act in line. Like, you got to go to these meetings and don't worry about me. You just got to go look at yourself in the mirror and change. You don't need my help, right? That might have created more angst in me. I mean, I might have been maybe less determined and less motivated to do so and not support it, right? But by having her cooperation and her support, it has really, added more motivation to me fulfilling this goal, fulfilling this desire to quit drinking and be a better person and be a better husband and son and brother. She's supportive in that nature. And, she, by cooperating, is helping this relationship get better, as opposed to, the opposite, the less desirable, things not improving, things getting worse. Maybe I just feel less supported and then I get pushed out to drink. And thank God, and by the grace of God, I'm still sober. So I'm so grateful for Monica for being my cheerleader, for being my support and cooperating. But you'll find that, when you guys are cooperating with each other's goals, you're going to find that your relationship will improve. Some small examples, if, your loved one's trying to eat healthier, be conscious of that. Make conscious decisions to support your partner's decision to live a healthier life. So if you're used to buying her, king size candy bars at 7-Eleven, and because that was your way of showing that love and gratitude to her, and that she's trying to be healthy, but you don't want to give her a king size candy bar, opt for the smaller one. Maybe get the small one and even share it with her. Enjoy that moment. If she likes the candy, share it with her, but encourage and support the notion that she wants to eat healthier, have smaller portions and whatnot. So those are 5 ways to, I think Rocco just threw up, burped, or he farted, one or the other. 5 ways to be a better partner. So number 1, express your love or gratitude at least once each day, whether face-to-face, a flirty text message, or a nice voice message, for those with that feature. Be a cheerleader, cheer your partner on, be a good listener, actually hear, listen, genuinely, be interested in your partner. I mean, if you guys always be together forever, don't you always want to know what's going on in their life? Number 4, ask yourself what a happy, deeply connected, and intimate relationship looks like, and how can you work towards improving that? And number 5, if your partner is seeking change to improve their self or the relationship, be supportive, be cooperative, be there to help that person achieve their goal. Don't let them do it by themselves, because that's what we're here to do. You're here to be a partner and a loved one for them. Thank you guys so much for listening to that. And now, while I know I kind of did take this on a, the perspective of, your loved one in a relationship, but a lot of these things can be applied to just your relationships overall. So for the remainder of the discussion, I'd like to hear from you guys. Maybe if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask the group, maybe like to ask for some input, or maybe you'd like to share with us how you're improving your relationships, whether they're with your partner, with your family, your loved ones, your parents, your siblings. How are you being a better, person in those relationships? So thanks, guys, for listening. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to share. And let's get it on a Tuesday, okay? Yeah. Let's cancel the spotlight. Go to the gallery view. Does anyone have anything to share before maybe I kind of go to some questions? ask you guys how you're being a better partner. Darren, are you up?
Yeah, I can share.
What do you have for us today?
In my life, um, I was in a relationship for about 4.5 years, and afterwards, we separated, and then now recently we've come back together, and it's probably my closest friend, and it's because we didn't support each other. We were both changing. I was changing my career. She wanted to go in one direction. I wanted to go in the other. But instead of sitting there and supporting each other while we're changing, it was the demise of our relationship. And now that we've realized that, we've come back together and we still support each other. We still help each other out. We still lean on each other. And after that realization of what made the relationship fail has now in turn made our friendship even stronger.
Awesome, thank you. So your loved one is now your best friend.
Exactly. And when quarantine hit, she actually was traveling abroad, and she asked if she could come stay with me when she was coming back to the States and quarantine at my house with me. And I openly accepted her. And it's my best friend, and I'm really happy that our relationship is where it is.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I can see the brightness in there.
Yeah.
Caesar, what do you have for us? Happy to see you. Welcome.
See, sorry I was late. By the way, this is the only call I did not miss while I was gone. I didn't even go to my cloak and pedal calls. The way of the superior man. We've been talking about it on our Saturday calls. It talks about the masculine energy and the feminine energy. And I just read that book, which caused me to open up my eyes to my relationship that I had with my previous girlfriend, who I thought I was going to marry. And I know it was the right decision. But just to put it into context is men have masculine energy, women have feminine energy. When we don't allow each other to live in that energy and then step into our powers, and we compromise that to make the other one happy, it creates more tension. It doesn't allow us to support each other in those energies. And I realized that was a big factor in my relationship with not only my previous relationship, but all my other relationships. I never gave women the opportunity to support me fully. I expected it, but I never gave them the power. I never pushed them in that direction too. In that book, The Way of the Superior Man, you got it. This is my second time reading it. And it's only been like a month. Every time you read it, you'll get something different. I'm just dissecting it. So I would definitely recommend it. I'm still processing a lot of it because a lot of it's been hitting me from left to right, and kicking me in the nuts every single time I could think of, but I would definitely recommend it even to the women. John, and I think you heard the other guy talk, right? The black guy, Dwayne.
Yeah.
That guy is fire. Christopher, Darren, you're more than welcome to hop on the call on Saturdays at 9 a.m.
Dwayne said he had no spleen.
Yeah. He's had all kinds of, accidents and stuff. And, but I would definitely recommend it. So anyways, masculine energy, feminine energy, learn about it. It really allows you to understand your partner a little bit better. And teaches you how to support each other in those moments.
So from that book, you read it twice, and in the foreseeable future, should you have another relationship, what's maybe one thing you expect to be able to kind of have in that relationship, or expect or value in that future relationship?
There's so much. There's really a lot. I can't really pinpoint one ththing right now because I can't really. It's so much that I was doing, right? And it's not to make anybody right or wrong. It's not to say, hey, you weren't conscious of it now. And so now I think it's, what do you value most out of a relationship? And I think that's what it starts with, right? Like, what do I want? Because if I don't know what I want, then I'm going to find myself in the same position in every relationship, so it's being really clear with the things that I want in my life, my non-negotiables and the things that I want to share a partnership with. And then from there, I could start looking into how to be a better partner, right? But I guess until I figure out what exactly it is that I want, it's I could sit here all day and name 10 different things and talk on it for another hour, so.
I like that. I mean, once you know what you want first, then you're able to go wholeheartedly into a relationship. Thank you.
Mhm.
Monica, Chris, Ali, Carmen.
This is Chris. Me and Carmen been in a relationship, 4 years now, 5 years now. It was something that I feel like we had to. It was like learning on the fly. It's something that I wanted to do, not just because of Ezra coming along, but it was still a learning experience because it was the longest relationship I've had up to that point. Obviously, there was an age difference there, but it's something that we both learned, and we're still learning together. And I feel like being in a relationship's all about that cooperation. It's not just, oh, this is my way, it should be this way. Because that's how I think it should be. No, it's more like a compromise. You find those times where you disagree and you talk about it, you talk it through, and you find solutions to it. Options, and you work together. I think that's the biggest thing that we did to learn together is to talk things through, see what worked, and if it didn't work, then we talk about it. Yeah, I think those five things that you talked about, I think we've implemented along the way these 5 years together, and it's definitely worked. And I think it's all about practicing all of those top fives, just to continue. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I missed in one of my bullet points. I put a little note there for me. Which one was it? Essentially, it was a practice good listening skills. I put progress, not perfection, and that's not just for the listening skills, but for all these 5 points. That's not to say one day, I never miss that expression of love or gratitude to Monica. I mean, I might maybe one day not get it right, and it's about progress, not perfection, right? It's not that, hey, I'm at this ultimate perfect relationship. It's like, hey, we said and signed up for eternal love, we'll be together forever. And what does that look like? Well, something to practice every day. Maybe we don't know these things today, maybe we'll learn something new in the future, and maybe we do something that didn't work. And like you said, if we always waited to do what was always going to work, then we'll never really find and explore all other options. You have to be willing to fail and try things that don't work. Monica, what do you have to share about you improving your relationships, compared to maybe previous relationships? What do you have to share with us?
I think like kind of what you touched on, like a big one for me is being or practicing good listening. And that's something that I haven't really done before in previous relationships because I don't know, I just feel like I struggle to like really like listen and give certain people like the attention. I don't know, I've always struggled with that for some reason. And so now I think that ever since like being with you and just kind of like just being more aware, bringing awareness to it and doing what you said, like keeping the eye contact and all of that really does help me become a better listener. And I think also just like kind of like Chris said too, like being open to ideas and responding to situations, not reacting, but discussing with each other about like how you feel and not just bottling everything in and communicating. That I think that those have been a game changer for our relationship. And that's something that I never did with my past relationships. I never talked about issues. I would just keep them bottled up inside, and then when things got tense, it would explode, and then it would become this big fight and issue. And I feel like we've never had that. I mean, we've had our moments, but like we've never had like a big like moment like that, because I feel like I haven't bottled everything up inside. Like we communicate very well, and that's something that I've struggled with in the past.
So real quick, raise your hand if you've ever bottled up your emotions and let it out. You're not alone. I think everyone here can relate. We all know, and I think we can all just kind of be a little naive and say, you know, when we went in high school, nobody taught us about like this part and what it does and how we can control it and the type of control it has over us, you know, so that we grow up getting into relationships and not know how to cope with this, right? And it's in these conversations, and you know, it's when people like Allie, who are, you know, hearing this from people who have this experience, who she doesn't have to, you know, do that learning curve, right? She could skip all that and say, hey, like, okay, I'm not sure how to cope with that, but you know, we now know that, you know, how do you avoid that? You know, you talk about it. You be open. You be open and honest. You practice those good listening skills, and you do it all the time. If you're like regularly doing that all the time, then maybe the chances of us, you know, becoming a volcano are less likely. That's not saying it'll never happen, but you know, we've all done that. We've all had experience in kind of holding in our emotions. So you are not alone. Allison, what do you have to share? What are you hearing from the group? Is there anything that you're taking away? Anything that's really resonating with you today?
Just the listening and cooperation. I feel like um, now that I'm here, I have to really cooperate with, you know, my roommates, Joe and Monica, and like I have to cooperate with mom and dad with how I spend my time, or how I just overall do these like adult things, like some things with college and money wise. It's I have to cooperate with them and compromise some things that I want for things that is just more like a necessity, like college tuition and everything like that. So just trying to take into account both sides is just a big part of what I took in today. So thank you.
I like that. You know, seeing both sides. You know, especially, you know, with your relationship with mom and dad. You know, they're your parents. You know, we're always like seeing it from our side, but we be open to seeing it from their angle, being in their shoes. Carmen, did you have anything to share? Did she want to share on her tips for improving relationships? Anything she learned, or anything she could share with us?
Hi guys.
Hey, Carmen.
Yeah, I mean, I took a lot of I took a lot away, especially with it being like listening to Chris and, you know, just giving him that time at work and being supportive, because he does work a lot and it's kind of stressful for me because I'm just here with the kids all day. So it's like sometimes I need that other human interaction, or like adult interaction. And he's like the only one that I can really get that with. So I feel like sometimes I'm very selfish with not being supportive of him at work. And I guess that's what I took from this today. So
That's good. You know, I think that's what's cool about this group is we're able to just talk about things and help, you know, help each other. You know, if this conversation helped, you know, someone be more aware of, you know, these things in their relationship, then, you know, that's a real positive thing, you know, and I'm really happy to hear that. You know, I feel, you know, sometimes I feel that when I'm always gone, you know, I always want to make sure that I try to leave Monica with the best support I can have. I try to like leave the small things I do just to make sure I leave the house in good condition. So when she comes in, she's happy, and I know definitely like the only interaction we're getting right now is with Monica and Allie. So especially when I get to go out and go to work and interact with all the adults, I feel you. So I feel you there. I'm really happy and blessed to have that interaction with my guys like Caesar and Darren. So I feel you. I can't imagine, but I appreciate you for sharing. That's really great. Thank you guys all for sharing with us. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to, share with us about how to improve the relationship? Maybe what it's looking like for you today. Maybe you can share with us, what are you going to do today to express love and gratitude to your loved one? How are you going to be a better listener? And maybe not just with your loved ones, maybe with your team, your parents, your siblings. Go ahead, Monica. What do you got?
I think that I'm going to find more balance in, doing things that you want to do and listening to your ideas. We already eat balance.
All the time.
And then maybe just sending you more notes of gratitude. I feel like you send me those all the time, and I don't send enough of those. So
That's okay. I just pull up my phone and look at your Instagram. I'm like, oh, there she is. She's with me. If you're not there, I'll look for you anyway. Like that's why I have.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
That's another tip I'd like to share. Monica, and this was just with my dog. She's like, hey, you should take more pictures with your dog. And why should I take more pictures with my dog? Well, because I don't want to forget that relationship. So, not saying my partner is my dog, but we could take more pictures together. I found that when you start to when you take pictures regularly and you look at that album like on your phone, you're like, wow, like you could see that happiness in there and progress. I really feel that applying these 5 ways to be a better partner in your life, whether it's with your loved one or with your team, your siblings, your roommates, with just in your relationships, you're going to find better, stronger, more deeply connected relationships. I just got to hang out with my 2 best friends yesterday. It was really, really scary for me. I was like, I don't know if we should let them into my house, but I cleaned and sanitized everything, and we kept the windows open, the AC running, and I just got to be with my friends. We got to talk about, what are we doing in our life? What's going on with us right now? What's making us happy? What are we thinking about for the rest of the year? Where's our head at? And I got to practice those skills. I got to practice looking them, straight up in the eye. And I could feel like they were a little awkward. And I was like, maybe they're not used to this, but I was really, really into just not having seen them so long. I was like, what are you guys doing? Tell me more about what you're doing in the next 6 months, right? And I was just so eager. And I was like, tell them, well, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. You guys should come with me. We should go, right? And I guess I was so happy to see them. I want to cheer them on. They're my friends, and I wanted to, be their cheerleader. Even if they're not my partner, but they're my friends. And I'm gonna cheer my friends on. I'm gonna make sure that part of my life, my friendship area, my friendship bucket is deeply connected to. So whether you're looking to improve your love relationships, your family relationships, or your friendships, actively, consciously make choices to improve them by being a better listener, by expressing your love and gratitude regularly. I got really close. I almost hugged them, but, we were outside Trader Joe's, and I think people thought we were getting weird. And they're like, look at these young guys. They don't give a shit. We were inside Trader Joe's, like shopping next to each other, recommending things with separate carts, and then we go separate ways. So I think people were like, these guys are not physically distant, but we're connected, so stay connected. And just like you guys did here with me today, with each other, we're connected in a time where we're all physically distant. As we see this continue, I hope you guys continue to come back continue to share your experience, to share your stories with us, and then just, be around people and stay connected. So thank you guys all for being here. I will see you guys next week. Thanks.